China's new strategy with Spain has sent shockwaves across Europe. How does this affect the continent? Today, we'll look at recent talks between Spain and China and how they potentially redefine economic connections in Europe. We'll also look at the unexpected effects of tariffs on electric vehicles and how they could lead to a trade war. Furthermore, we'll discover how cultural exchanges are fostering tighter linkages between countries, potentially altering the future of international relations. After accumulating insights and expert viewpoints, I'll demonstrate how this pivotal moment affects not only Spain and China, but also the future of China-EU ties in general. But before we get into the details, click the like button and subscribe to the Global Narrative. We're all about bringing you the most recent and greatest information, so don't miss out. Okay, let us get right into it. Let's go into the interesting area of international relations, where everything is always altering. Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sánchez recently traveled to China, and the trip has made headlines across Europe. With all of the talk about electric vehicle tariffs, this visit emphasizes how difficult trade relationships can be between China and Europe. As Sánchez speaks with Chinese leaders, the stakes are high for Spain and the European Union. This has the potential to alter the situation significantly. So, what happened when Sánchez visited with China's President Xi Jinping? Both seemed keen to enhance their commercial relations. Xi stated unequivocally that he wants a fair, equal, safe, and non-discriminatory economic environment for Chinese enterprises working in Spain. This is significant because China is attempting to establish a welcoming environment for investment, particularly as it faces criticism from Western nations. Now let's look at the numbers. China's GDP is predicted to expand by approximately 5.5% in 2023. That is a solid figure. But it also demonstrates that China is actively seeking foreign investment to keep things going forward. Sánchez reiterated Xi's sentiments, claiming Spain is all about free trade and open markets. He's trying to avoid any idea of a trade war, which is a wise decision given the current situation. Sánchez and Chinese business people discussed crucial issues at a business roundtable in Beijing. This conference provided an excellent opportunity for all parties to discuss how they might work together more effectively. It demonstrated that both Spain and China are eager for economic engagement, particularly as they negotiate the difficult waters of global commerce. Now, let's go into the details of trade conflicts. Sánchez's visit was centered around tariffs on Chinese electric automobiles. Spain, a significant actor in the EU, supported a high provisional tax of 36.7% on these goods. And guess what? China did not take this lightly. They promptly began an anti-dumping probe into EU pork imports, in which Spain played a prominent role. This investigation is substantial. Back in 2020, EU pork exports to China totaled 7.4 billion euros. That's approximately $7.9 billion. This rise occurred because China desperately needed pork following a devastating outbreak of African swine disease. However, by last year, those shipments had decreased to roughly 2.5 billion euros, with Spain accounting for nearly half of that total. It's a typical example of how trade conflicts may affect many industries, demonstrating how intertwined everything is. As Sánchez navigates these stormy waters, it becomes evident that the consequences of these tariffs extend beyond mere numbers. The persistent tensions remind us that international trade is like walking a tightrope. One mistake might bring everything crashing down. Despite the drama, there are some bright spots on the horizon for commercial cooperation between China and Spain. One encouraging news is that Chinese automaker Chery intends to establish an electric vehicle manufacturing plant in Barcelona. This investment is worth approximately 500 million euros. It's a significant move for China as it seeks to grow its presence in Europe, as well as assist Spain in becoming a green energy leader. In terms of green energy, Spain is making a strong push for electric vehicles. Electric vehicle sales increased by 50% in 2022. And the Spanish government has set a goal of 30% of all car sales by 2030. That is a significant commitment to reducing carbon emissions and investing in sustainable transportation. But wait, there's more. China isn't only interested in automobiles. During his visit, Sanchez and Chinese leaders discussed collaboration in technology and renewable energy. Both countries have a lot to offer in these areas, and working together might lead to some interesting achievements. It is part of a bigger trend of Chinese corporations investing in European technology, particularly as they seek to expand their skills in artificial intelligence and renewable energy. Let's not overlook agriculture and tourism. Spain is a major exporter of agricultural products, especially pork, and this might benefit both countries. In 2021, Spain sold approximately 1 billion euros, $1.1 billion, worth of agricultural goods to China. That provides a firm platform for future growth. Let us now take a step back and examine Spain's involvement in the larger context of China-EU ties. As a prominent actor in the EU, Spain's position is critical in formulating trade policies with China. Sanchez's visit coincides with the EU's efforts to manage its relationship with China in the face of escalating tensions. Sanchez is promoting a more balanced and constructive discourse by speaking directly with Chinese authorities. This visit could have an impact on future China-EU relations. China thinks that with Spain's support, it would be able to smooth out some of the rough patches in tariffs and trade. It's all about posture, and Spain is in a great position to help navigate these hazardous waters. According to Chinese experts, Sanchez's visit is a critical stage in China-EU relations transition from stability to further development. As both sides want to strengthen economic ties, Spain might serve as a crucial link between China and the rest of Europe. Furthermore, Spain has some significant expertise in managing economic agreements within the EU. This could give China some valuable insights as it navigates the intricate landscape of European politics. Strengthening ties with Spain may even force other EU countries to reconsider how they interact with China. Now let's talk about something different: cultural diplomacy. This is all about making cultural links, which is critical for establishing international relations. The inauguration of the Cervantes Institute in Shanghai serves as an excellent example. This center focuses on promoting the Spanish language and culture, demonstrating Spain's dedication to establishing cultural connections with China. These cultural endeavors are more than just goodwill gestures. They contribute to a deeper understanding and appreciation between the two nations. When people learn about each other's cultures, the environment becomes more conducive to corporate growth. In 2022, nearly 100,000 Chinese students enrolled in Spanish language lessons. That is a huge amount, indicating a growing interest in Spanish culture. Cultural events and exchanges are also important in diversifying the ways China and EU countries connect. By building personal relationships, both countries can develop a partnership that extends beyond trade. It is about building a community where individuals feel linked, which can lead to better economic collaboration in the future. So, what does all of this mean for China? The country's long-term aims include increasing economic cooperation with European countries, and its involvement with Spain is an important aspect of that strategy. China, the world's second-largest economy, understands the importance of continuing the dialogue to avoid trade battles that could harm its growth. The negotiations between China and Spain illustrate China's aim to ensure strong trade agreements, especially as protectionism is increasing globally. By developing connections with Spain, China is demonstrating its commitment to international cooperation and attempting to overcome some of the mistrust it receives from many sources. While the EU grapples with internal disputes over how to approach China, Spain's proactive approach could serve as an example for other EU member states. By developing a cooperative relationship with Spain, China may be able to influence broader EU policies and mitigate the impact of prospective penalties or tariffs. In addition, there is the Belt and Road Initiative, BRI. which aims to improve infrastructure and trade between Asia and Europe. Spain's strategic location positions it as a vital partner in this project. By aligning with Spain's infrastructural aspirations, China may strengthen its economic presence in Europe. What are your thoughts on China's developing connection with Spain? Do you believe it will have a positive or negative impact on European trade? Leave your thoughts in the comments. That's it for today. Stay tuned for more, and see you at the next one.